Our town council, you came through in the morning and we did the introductions and everything. The only query that we had was internal auditor. Internal auditor, good afternoon. Use your mic. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Chair. Good afternoon, members.
Why did you decide to remain behind? Because you are fit, you are not sick, right?
No, I'm not actually sick. It's only that during the time that they were compiling, I was in Chongwe attending a procurement meeting.
When was that? When did you come back from Chongwe?
I think last week.
No, there is another mic here. Use this mic here. When did you come back to Ngao from Chongwe?
Last week.
Are you aware that you are the head of that department?
I'm very much aware, Chair.
And what did you get? Why didn't you get the briefings from your assistant? Because you knew that Parliament called you here, isn't it?
Yes, Chair.
So why didn't you get the briefings?
It's like the time I reached the office, they had already made some arrangements.
Yeah, but you have an officer there that you left who would say this issue is this issue. I've never been in court where you see lawyers exchanging notes or picking from this one then the other one. All right, that aside, I think Council Secretary, switch off your mic. May I allow you now to make your submission of your report?
Thank you, Chair. Memorandum of Ngawe Town Council to the Committee on Local Government Accounts on paragraph 11 of the report of the Auditor General. The report of the Auditor General on the Constituency Development Fund for the financial year ended 31st December 2023. Item 1, Chair, is the specific audit findings. A is the delayed completion of a staff house at Wembero Primary School. On 16th January 2023.
No, Council Secretary.
Yes, sir.
I want you to be as easy as you can, because I believe this is not your first time to appear before our committee. But at the same time, during this elapse, 5 hours of waiting, maybe you are not yourself. Come down and be yourself. You know that once you read the query like that, you go to your management response. So, like now, you wanted to start reading on 16th December. You go to management query. So once you read that query, then you go management response, I mean.
Thank you, Chair, for your guide.
Please go ahead.
So the query, Chair, is the delayed completion of a staff house at Wembero Primary School. Management response. A cause of query. Management acknowledges the findings of the Auditor General regarding the delayed completion of the staff house at Wembero Primary School. The delay in the completion of the project is attributed to the poor performance of the contractors engaged and the possession of Invest Trust Bank PLC by the Bank of Zambia. Action taken. Following the termination of the contract with Hench Enterprise Limited on 24th March 2023, a new contract was entered into with NY Engineers Limited on 20th January 2023. Which was also terminated on 13th September of 2024. Further, A new account was opened with Indo Bank, Zambia, following the closure of Invest Trust Bank, and the project has since been completed, and the project account sealed, as can be seen on Appendix 1, Chair. Remedial measure. The Council will continue to ensure that all contracts are properly managed to ensure that projects are implemented and completed within the agreed contract duration. The second query, Chair, is management of empowerment grants, failure to utilize grants on approved projects. Management response, cause of query. In Kange, a multi-purpose cooperative applied for empowerment grant of 40,000 kwacha to purchase a hammer mill. Upon receiving the grant, the cooperative established that the cost of the hammer mill was significantly higher than the 40,000 kwacha applied for. This resulted in the club resolving to change the project to the purchase of goats, which could be procured within the available funds. The chair, the other club was the Kalolonshi Multi-Purpose Cooperative, applied for empowerment grant of 40,000 kwacha to purchase pigs and goats. Upon receiving the grant, the cooperative resolved to change the project to selling farming inputs to recapitalize their funds in the shortest period of time due to the high demand of inputs at the time. Action taken. A monitoring and sensitization meeting was conducted to cooperatives and clubs and that had received funding, which included Nkake and the Kalolonshi Multi-Purpose Cooperatives. During the visit, the cooperatives were taken through the basic financial management and grants management. Following the training conducted, the cooperatives were wrote to the local authority to request for change of project, and the requests will be tabled before the CDF committee for approval. The local authority also conducted a meeting with the chairpersons of the WDCs, during which effective grant management and monitoring was discussed to further enhance efficiency in grant management. This can be seen on Appendix 2, Chair. Remedial measure. The local authority will continue to heighten monitoring and sensitization of clubs and cooperatives who receive funding under the empowerment grants component of the CDFC. At CB, Chair, the cross-cutting issue. The issue there is under cross-cutting issue, Chair, the management response, cause of query. Management acknowledges the findings of the auditor regarding the budget funding and expenditure of the received funds. 996,751 was retained for the construction of the Chief's Palace, and 115,681 was retained for the insurance of the CDF monitoring vehicle. The local authority spent 24,842,705 during the year under review, leaving a balance of unspent funds amounting to 1,366,333 by 31st December 2023. Action taken. The local authority through the Department of Engineering has continued to supervise the projects together with the Office of the Project Engineer, Department of Rural Development in Central Province. The current overall status of the project is 60%. Remedial measures. Management will ensure that the budgets are adhered to by spending the funds in the current year to avoid variances as seen at Appendix 3, Chair. Retained for at Appendix 2, Chair, there's a table there for retained of the Chief's Palace. Cause of query. The local authority wishes to acknowledge the Auditor General's findings that a total of 936,751 was returned from source, that is the Ministry of Local Government and Rural Development, for the construction of Chief's Palace by 31st December 2023. The Chief's Palace, which is being constructed by Zambia Correctional Services, has the scope of the works as outlined below. First bullet, construction of a 4-bedroom main house, construction of a conference house, construction of 2 low-cost retainers houses, and establishment of water reticulation system. Action taken. The local authority through the Department of Engineering has continued to supervise the project together with the Office of the Provincial Engineer, DRD Central Province. The project, the current overall status is at 60% as seen at Appendix 4. Remedial measure. The local authority will continue to closely supervise the project, working together with the Office of the Principal Engineer, DRD Central Province. Management response, Chair. Management acknowledges the findings of the auditor and the cause of the query and the action taken are as highlighted in the table below. The first one, Chair, is the balance brought forward, which balance is sitting at 21,871,940,000. Cause of query. The balance brought forward was because of the local authority did not spend the funds in the financial year of 2022, hence the funds were brought forward to the year 2023. Action taken. The funds were spent in the financial year 2023. Number 2, Chair, is the accrued interest on the revolving account amounting to 250,110. The cause of query, Chair, the accrued interest is from the revolving fund account as at 31st December 2023. Action taken. The interest retained in the account to be issued to other applicants. Item number 3, Chair, is unspent amount amounting to 23,741,869. The cause of query,
3 million.
sorry, 23,741,869. The cause of query, Chair, the unspent money at the end of the year was because the local authority did not spend the funds in the financial year of 2023, which were received mostly in the fourth quarter. Action taken. Funds were being spent in various CDF programs in the year 2024. The next one, Chair, is about community projects amounting to 9,859,740,000. A total amount of 9,389,740 had not been spent on community projects on the projects as the projects were still under implementation. Action taken, Chair. A sensitization program, a sensitization meeting was conducted in all the wards in August of 2023, during which communities were further sensitized on the availability of funds. The local authority continued to receive applications on a rolling basis, and the funding allocated to the 2023 empowerment grant has since been exhausted. The next item, Chair, is secondary boarding and the skills development bursaries amounting to 4,485,150. Sorry, Chair. Cause of query. The local authority invited applications and under the skills development bursaries component of the CDF on a rolling basis based on the applications received. Applications received amounted to 2,689,820.31 ngwe. Some applications were received mid-year and the courses applied for had already commenced. The next available intake were to be in January of the following year, and therefore payments could not be initiated by the close of the year. Action taken. The students whose approvals were only given mid-year and could only be enrolled in the January intake reported for their respective courses. Payments were made in March of the following year, following the verification that the students had reported to their various learning institutions. Further, subsequently, the CDFC committee approved the variations of funds amounting to 2,689,820.69 ngwe from the 2023 skills development bursaries component of the CDF to the 2023 community component of the CDF to cater for the completion of the spot improvement of the Kawe-Ngawe Road, a project of significant importance which required extra funding. Community Projects 2022. Cause of query, Chair. Management wishes to acknowledge auditors' findings that works for 2022 CDF projects were still in progress at the time of the audit, mainly due to the poor performance of the contractors engaged and the possession of Invest Trust Bank, PLC, by the Bank of Zambia. Action taken. The action taken, Chair, is following the termination of the contract with Hens Enterprise Limited on 24th March 2023. A new contract was entered into with NY Engineers Limited on 20th January 2023, which was also terminated on 13th September 2024. Further, a new account was opened with Indo Bank Zambia Limited, Zambia, following the closure of Invest Trust Bank, and the project has since been completed and the project account settled. The next item, Chair, is on soft loans amounting to 3,227,785. Cause of query: applications under the empowerment loans component were only received towards the close of the year, and the evaluations approvals were only completed in the following year, which resulted in the funds allocated for empowerment loans not having been disbursed by close of the year. Action taken: 20 applications under the 2023 empowerment loans component were approved by the CDF committee and successfully evaluated by Zanaco Bank. The 20 applications amounting to 3,995,740 were subsequently approved by the PLGO's office, and the bank has since disbursed the loans to successful applicants. The next item, Chair, is on the analysis of performance of desks over amount total, that is about 565,240. Cause of query: management acknowledges the findings of the auditor regarding the analysis of the performance of desks. Existing education infrastructure in the district was inadequate to cater for the number of desks planned for procurement. Action taken: the local authority phased the procurement of desks, and the remaining 816 desks have since been procured. Remedial measure, Chair: management will ensure that budgets are adhered to by spending the funds within the financial year of receipt, as can be seen on appendix number 5. The next item, Chair, is the unspent funds on community projects. Management response: cause of query: the local authority acknowledges the findings of the auditor regarding the unspent funds amounting to 9,389,740. The funds remained unspent as at 31st December 2023 due to the following outlined in the table below. Serial 1, Chair: construction of maternity wing at Chilwa Clinic. Status as at 31st December 2023, project was in progress and funds were committed. Second bullet, The second item, Chair, is construction of a staff house at Wemberero Primary School. The project was in progress and the funds were committed. The third item, Chair, is procurement of a brand new tractor and trailer.
Sorry, Council Secretary. You didn't submit this. Pardon? I think we are repeating, isn't it?
Chair, it's like we are failing to follow. And some things you would have already read and then being repeated.
Yes.
So I don't know where we are.
No. Is on page 12, page 11, right? Page 11.
You're on page what?
On page 10. Yeah, page 10. But these projects, you have just submitted them, isn't it? You have submitted them already, so we can skip that.
Okay, thank you. Thank you, Chair, for the guide.
So let's skip that. Let's go to page 14. Let's see. I'm seeing like everything has already...
In page 14, the bursaries have already been tackled.
Yeah, 15, 18. Let's go to page 18. These are already been...
Thank you, Chair, for the guide. On page 18, at Appendix 5, analysis of performance, youth, women, and community grants. That's where you meant?
Yes, page 18.
Thank you, Chair. Management response, cause of query. Management acknowledges the findings of the auditor.
But even this one is there, isn't it? I think it's just the repetition of everything here.
I don't know whether
boarding schools,
we don't want to
everything.
Yeah.
So, Council Secretary, I think from where I'm seated here, all these are just repetition of what you read in the first submission. So we could as well end there and allow members. Honorable, you can switch off your mic. Honorable Mutero.
Chair, thank you very much. Just the first one. The first one,
page 1.
Page 3. Of course, it would be coming from page 3, page 1 and... But page 3, Chair.
Yes.
Here is a contract terminated on 24th March 2023. Then the other, the one to take over, it is...
Honorable Mutero, page 3.
Page 3, yes.
Management of what?
Management, the management response...
What's the query?
Delayed completion of a staff house.
So it's coming from page 2, isn't it?
Coming from page 2, but I'm dealing with the response.
All right. Please go ahead.
The action taken, Chair. Hench Enterprise terminated on 24th March 2023. A new contract was entered into with NY Engineers on 24th January 2023. I don't know whether it's the other way around or CS and Director of Works, we want this to remain like that. We've gone to the appendix. They are talking of even the invested trust was taken by Bank of Zambia. The invested trust was just possessed 7th June 2024. We are dealing with 2023. So I just want them to reconcile. Further, they have now another company, Dan Gent. So all the terminations, engagements here, they're not there. But just to start with, How do you terminate a contract in March and then engage another one in January the same year? And this has also been repeated on page 13.
Page
Page 13.
or page 13.
Like the
Yes.
same things.
Council Secretary.
Council Secretary, Director of Works, is it
Yeah.
possible, I'll repeat, to terminate a contract in March, like March today, 2025? Then the other one you engage after the termination is January 2025. Here you've written 2023.
I get
Councillor
the question, Chair.
Yes.
I think logically it's not adding up. I think there's a problem with the dates. I want the Director of Engineering to help me guide the House on this. Thank you.
Director Engineering.
Thank you, Chair. I want to submit to the committee, Chair, that 20th January 2023 is supposed to be 20th January 2024. I think it was an error on our part.
Chair, just on that.
Yes.
CS,
Switch off your mic. Director
did
Engineering.
you have time to go through your report?
I
Councillor
did,
Secretary.
Chair. I did go through this report several times, and I think it was an omission on our part to mistake that January 22, the one should read 2023 while the other one should read 2024, like Director of Engineering has guided. I'm
Okay.
sorry for the mix-up.
All right, just on the same, Director Engineering, what could have been the problems? You engage somebody in March, and the 2024, March 2023, March 2024, you terminate. What could have been the problems that led to the termination of that contract?
Thank you, Chair, for the opportunity to respond. The first contract, Chair, I'd like to maybe just give a brief history of the contract so that we understand where it is coming from. The first contract was signed on 17th January 2024 with Hench Enterprise Limited.
So we are dealing with
2023, sorry. 2023.
Mm.
However, due to the poor performance of the contractor, it was terminated on 24th March 2023. The procurement process for retendering started in June and only ended around December, and hence another contract was signed for the same contract, for the same project on 20th January 2024.
So, sir, there is a report before us here. The report before us is saying the contract was entered into on 24th March 2023.
Chair,
We
24th March.
we don't have January. You are saying 17th January 2023.
Okay. 24th March, Chair, was the date for the termination of the contract with Hench
It was
Enterprise.
entered. It was entered
In January 17th.
So you terminated it in March.
In March.
Then what followed? Okay, just there for interest's sake, what happened? Because you contract somebody in January, and by March you terminate the contract. What led to that? Because it was barely 2 months.
Yes. So the contract period for the project was 13 weeks.
No, sir. I'm saying I'm looking at this contractor.
Yes.
Why did you engage him on 17th January 2023 and then terminate in March 24th March 2023? bear after 3 months. So I'm saying, what circumstances that led to the termination of that contract? Because I believe maybe he was still mobilizing to site.
Thank you, Chair. Actually, 3 months, roughly 3 months had passed, Chair, and he had just done works up to the slab level. So at this point, he was requesting for extension of time, which we denied, considering his poor performance during the 3 months period he was given. So it gave us no justification as to why to extend the contract.
Director engineering, you know that you are the director engineering, and you are the person that do due diligence on behalf of Ngawe Town Council. And even you are the one that will recommend based on the history of that contractor. And you engage somebody within 2 months or within a month's work, you say there is poor workmanship on the slab. Is that correct? Honorable Mwene, I mean, Mutero, sorry.
Thank you so much. Allow me, Chair, you have accepted the changes in the dates so that we follow properly.
Okay. So can we correct the dates, isn't it? The
Yes.
other one is 24,
So
it's 2024.
what he said is 17th January
First one,
2023. Agreed.
yes.
Termination March. Agreed. Now, are you not the one who has delayed this project? You terminate in March, April, May, you decide to do a memo for retendering in June. After having done that memo, according to the new submission now, they now give the other contractor in December. Who would have delayed this project? Chair, I repeat. January, March, like you indicated. They terminate this one. To retender, June. To give the other contractor, December. Who would have delayed this staff house?
Director engineering?
Who? CS. 12 minus 3. 12 minus 3. You get that it's 9 months. Just to terminate, retender, and engage another contractor. 9 months.
Actually, yes, go ahead, yes.
Chair, I hear you. Perhaps maybe I may request my engineer to reconcile the dates. But the principle, the point I'm making, Chair, before the committee is when a contractor is given a contract, there are conditions in the contract, which conditions perhaps could not have been complied with, and hence the termination, and then the new contract. And of course, there are those issues now contained in the EGP. After how long should the tender run, and so on? When do we evaluate? When do we award? When do we sign? When does the contractor move to site? Perhaps what we could have missed are the timings. But I thought maybe the committee needed to be put in the know of what really transpired. Maybe I ask the Director of Engineering to elaborate.
Just before Director Engineering comes in, we want to see also the contract that was signed in January and terminated also in September 2024. What happened to that as well? Maybe before we come to those. Why was it problematic? If we read, let's read the action taken report.
Chair, just
Yes.
like you are saying, just let's be calm so that we go step by step.
Yes.
We want to see the termination the retendering, the engagement of the other contractor. Look here, then you terminated again. Purely delaying the one staff house.
Okay, just like my colleague has put
One
it,
staff house.
Yes, you can switch off your mic. I want us to follow this project. One, on 17th March, Director Engineering, I want you to be, on 17th January 2023, you awarded it, isn't it? On the 24th March 2023, you terminated, isn't it? You again awarded in December 2023, which was signed in January 20th, 2024. Then in September the same year, 2024, again you terminated. Then, without signing another contract, you just said the new account was opened through Indo and the project has since been completed. Which contractor, when did you sign another contract? The third now. It's not here, it's not on record. And when did you complete this project? That is completed, the project has since been completed and the project account settled. So, do we have the completion certificate and which contractor now completed in that year? And since, on the same, since the contract was terminated last year in September, so the new contractor, the one that completed, when did that person complete and who is that one? The third one.
Thank you, Chair. I think, Chair, what you've stated is correct. It's the correct position. We have a contract document in place for the first contract that was signed in January, 17th January, which ran up to
March
24th. When you count the weeks, Chair, they are 13.
No, what I was saying, we get you there.
Yes.
We want to be on the same page. I'm saying that contractor up to 24th March 2023 from January. Then you awarded another one in December, isn't it?
Yes.
And signed the contract in January 2024.
Yes.
Then in 2024 September, you terminated the contract.
Yes.
Your submission is that now that project is complete and the account is closed. So who is that contractor that completed the project and you even closed the account? Do you have documentary evidence on the completion of the completion certificates on the project? We want to know that contractor.
Okay, I think, Chair, we omitted a statement which could have stated that the contract was completed using false account. So when you go to Appendix 1.
Sorry, Chair. I wanted to be in Ngawe. Who is this company, Da Janet? It's here.
There's a contract in Appendix 1.
Yes, who is this Da Janet company? Because you are now telling us we use the false account. This contract chairperson, it's not sitting well. You cannot have a staff house starting from January 2023, terminated in March 2023, given to a contractor in 20th January 2024, terminated in September 2024, now finished, now false account, and then there's the Janet company. What was happening? No wonder I've said you are the causer of this delay. If you were prompt to terminate between January and March, what was it that held the Ngawe Council from January up to December? This other contractor, it was January up to December. The other one, January up to March.
And just there, Honorable Mutero, Director Engineering, can you go to Appendix 1?
Okay.
Appendix 1. The first leaf is saying completion of a staff house at Wemberero Primary School. Contract number, that number there, 0523. You go on the next page where it says final certificate for completion of works. Have you seen that?
Yes, I have.
And it's saying labor for completion of a staff house at Wemberero Primary School, phase 2. What's the date there? The completion of that house? 20th September 2024. In the report, that's the time we are terminating the contract. In the report, you told us that in September you terminated the contract.
Chair, he has said, yeah, joining us, and now he's writing.
In the certificate here, you are saying this is the time we completed, and actually, contract completion date, 15 October 2024. So you terminate the contract in September, and then you complete it in October, the same year.
Yes.
Just 2 weeks in between or so. You are able to run this thing and complete it. What's the explanation?
Thank you, Chair. The correct position, Chair, like I had stated, is that the second contractor who did works, who had his contract from January to September as indicated, if you recall, I think the first statement was that the first contractor only did works up to slab level. However, the second contractor executed works up to the level that is shown as captured by the auditor in that picture that has been shown in the main picture, in the main report. So the works that had remained, Chair, were just were a few. There were a few works that had remained. That is the reason why management decided to just finish up the works using force account after several engagements with the contractor to complete the project.
Honorable Manza.
Okay. On the same project,
Yes, sir.
there were two contractors that were engaged, and the director of engineering and the council secretary are right that that the first contract was signed on 17th January, and then the completion date as per the contract that was signed was 24th March, and that's the date that you terminated the first contract. You terminated that first contract. I have questions to that. How do you just terminate the contract without prior warning? 2, you terminated the contract without invoking penalties on the contractor, unless they are somewhere where you invoked liquidated damages. But as per the evidence that you have presented, the contractor was paid 146,000. Out of the initial contract was 395, and then was paid 146,559, which is representing 30% of the contract sum, leaving a balance of 346,836. So answer the question, why did you just all of a sudden just terminate the contract without prior engagement? And why didn't you invoke penalties? The same applies on the second contract. I know about the flotation period. You acted very late because you terminated the contract on March. So you start writing letters to seek authority to retender in June. You could have, at the time, the very day you terminate, then start engaging. We know the flotation period for the EGP, so it took long. Now, you engage the second contractor. a second contractor, you terminated the contract at 67% financial progress. His contract sum was 352,643, and you terminated at the contract after he was paid 234,720. From the history, I can check that the major reasons for terminating these two contracts was that the contractors abandoned the sites. They abandoned the sites, and you had to terminate. So then you invoked used labor contract, or rather force account, at a contract sum of 58,000 kwacha for the contractor called Dagenet to complete the project, which the contractor has completed. So when we are at page 3, the action taken is saying, is just summarizing all these contractual procedures. Following the termination, the action taken, following the termination of the contract with Hench Enterprise on 24th March, a new contract was entered into with NY Engineering on 20th January 2024, which is a corrected one, which was also terminated on 13th September. Now, further, a new account was opened with Indobank Zambia following the closure of Investors Bank, and the project has since been completed and the project account settled. What is the relationship of the closure of Investtrust Bank to deal with the implementation of this project when Investtrust was repossessed in the 2nd April 2024, when both contracts were running before the Investtrust was taken over by BOZ?
Director Engineering.
I'll begin with the last question, Chair, as to how is Investtrust coming in the equation of terminating the contract. Chair, if you look at how far this contractor had gone, as shown in the picture, he was only disturbed to proceed with works on site by the closure of Investtrust. Before that occurred, he had applied for an IPC to continue with works on site as he was progressing. However, that incident happened, so he had to stop works because the council could not pay him to sustain progression of works and also sustain workers on site. So he demobilized the bit to wait until that was resolved by government. That was only resolved, Chair, in June, and the IPC was paid. However, at that point, the council started engaging the contractor to go back on site, indicating that the matter has been resolved and payment will normalize. It is at that point that contractor failed to get back to site, despite several engagements. And that is the main reason why the contract was terminated. Because as a council, Chair, we couldn't wait until the contractor comes at his own time. And the engagements...
The Investtrust was repossessed in April. Even the notice that you have put here, on Appendix 1, it clearly shows, it shows that Investtrust was repossessed. Yeah, it is. Notice is hereby given that pursuant to section blah 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 of the Bank of Zambia, the Bank of Zambia has taken possession of Investtrust Bank with effect from April 2nd, 2024.
Yes.
What was the contract period for the second contract? It was
13 weeks.
Yes. No. The contract, it was 6 weeks, sir. It was on 21st December 2023 to 18 January 2024. And the Invest Trust saga happened in April. Even the explanation here for the Bank of Zambia, they are really assuring but anyway, looking at these dates, how does the closure of Invest Trust affect implementation of the project? Because it was
still running
at a later stage.
It was still running. In addition, Director Engineering, when you look at this final completion certificate, you submitted that actually the works that remained after the contract was terminated, the works that remained were just few works. Okay? And then you said you now use the force account, isn't it?
Correct, sir.
But when you look at your final certificate here, it reads labor for completion of the staff house. It's the same staff house. The labor, which was 58,000. Then that one was given to a company called Dajet. Not the council, but Dajet. I'm just reading what you submitted.
Yes.
Dajet Company Limited. It was to complete these few works that had remained, just the labor, the materials you buy, but just the labor, which is about 58,000. But in your submission, you said actually the council finished those works. So who is this Dajet? Who completed the works anyway?
Chair, probably I would not have come out as I meant. What I meant was that we completed works using labor-based. So meaning the council bought the materials, transported to site, and we just engaged a company to provide labor.
You remember the question we asked?
Yes,
you remember the question we asked you?
Mm-hmm.
Said, who completed these works? After the termination, we asked you that question.
Yes.
Say, who completed, which company completed, which contractor was given the works to complete the staff house? That's the question we are asking you. Yes. And you said, no, it was force account, we did it ourselves. But on your final completion certificate, you are putting a company.
Chair, I want to, in line of that understanding, I would withdraw and state that there was actually a contract that was entered into, which we have put with this company, Dajet. So the labor-based part comes in because of the fact that the council bought materials. It was not a full contract.
So why didn't you, on page 3, why didn't you put those details? That after the termination of that, then you had Dajet company that completed. Because if you look at the action taken report, that's why my colleagues have kept on going back. That you terminated in September, then it's quiet, then it's completed. But in your finals, in your completion certificate, you have put a company. Why didn't you put the company here?
Our Chair,
on your report.
We apologize for that. Otherwise, what we are submitting now is the correct position.
Honorable Mute.
Thank you, Chair. What is coming out is the 58 to Dajet. The money which CS you used to buy the materials, no one knows.
Switch off your mic. Internal auditor.
No one knows. Internal auditor, were you there? Where is procurement? Yes, what do you say? You are part and parcel of the delay. Here is a project terminated in March without prior warning. Then you delay to go and seek internal memo to re-advertise in June. You engage a contractor December. You terminate. You engage another one. Chair, this team, the Director of Works, Procurement. Under your watch. So I asked you, did you go through your report? You said I went through so many times. We have just gone through one time.
Okay. Can you switch off your mic, Honorable Mtero?
Are you the internal auditor? Yes. When all these things were happening, where were you?
I have too many mics on. Can you switch off? Internal auditor, just switch off your mic as well. We want to start from the procurement officer. What is your comment on all these things? Do you have documentary evidence on how much you have used after engaging in budget, on how much you have used to complete this house as a procurement officer?
Thank you so much, Chair. All the values and the amounts for which were procured for these materials, I think all the documents are there.
Sir, my question is very simple. I'm saying, do you have the documents?
Yes.
The next thing is, we want to see the documents. That's the second question. If you have the documents, documentary evidence that this project, because when the auditors, the external auditors, come to your institution, they give you a query. You must know if it's to do with construction, then the director of works or engineering should put all the documents together pertaining to that. You know that you didn't have, he had given us an impression that actually you are procuring all the materials, which you did. But you know that you would require that to see if the completion amount would still remain the way it was at first. Before you respond, I want to ask internal auditor. Internal auditor, all these cancellations and everything, whatever was happening, did you take interest in that?
Yes. Yes, Chair. I took
You just push your chair. You drop. Yes.
Yes, Chair. I took interest of all the cancellation.
Yes.
But I may not be in a good position to know what was bought in terms of documentation.
So what was your interest? Just knowing that it's happening like
that? What I mean is the labor.
If you took interest, the first thing is you wanted to see how things were moving documentary.
Yes.
So were you just hearing the way we are hearing it here?
No, actually, we even went on site with my assistant.
Yes.
Yes, and all what the director of engineering was saying, I'm in agreement. But maybe in terms of what was bought, that is where I'm a bit behind.
You are in agreement. Can you show us the documents that actually, those were comments, because you'd have made some comments to management to say, no, this is not right, but this, when are you doing this? Did you take some notes on what you went to check on?
Yes, Chair. We took some notes, especially to the first contractor. We even wrote something. It's just unfortunate that it's not part of the documentation. We recommended that the first contractor be terminated because at the time that we were doing the inspection as audit, he had only gone up to slab level when he was supposed to have gone up to somewhere window level or something.
You have those notes where you recommended that?
Yes, we have at the office.
No wonder you didn't want to come, isn't it?
No,
because,
Chair.
No, because look at this. You know that there is this delayed completion, and you know that queries will go around that, and you are supposed to arm yourself with information, with the documents. That actually in the first thing, like you have indicated, we went into the field with the director engineering, and I made these notes to management that, please, can we terminate this based on these points? If we wanted to ask you, we wouldn't have asked for you, we would have just called you on phone, then you submit. But we wanted you to come with documents. You know, this is what I did, this is what I did. How do we know you did that? Now, up to the completion, you are saying you don't know how much was used to purchase the materials to complete. That was being purchased by the council, isn't it? Is that not your position?
Yes, that's my position.
That's your
Chair.
position.
Yes, Chair.
And you didn't, you didn't take interest to see how much the materials for completion was used, how much was used. How much did you pay the Dajet, the company that completed?
It's 58,000 kwacha, but I'm not very much sure of the material that we bought as a council. But what was paid to Dajet is 58.
You see, you are an auditor. You are the person that is supposed to take interest on all the pieces, especially financial matters.
Yes, Chair.
Yes, now we want to complete. You want to. Why did you rush to know just the labor and then you don't know how much has been used there? Who is supposed to furnish this committee with that information? Who is supposed to give it? Because they can do whatever they can do, but you as an auditor will say, no, but what I have is this, because I was getting copies of every material that the council purchased. Me and you, we didn't see those documents. How do we know it's the correct amount? We relied on you as a committee. We depend on you, auditors, that you give us the right information, because your duty is to check on day-to-day activity in terms of financial matters. Switch off your mic. In conclusion, Honorable Dr. Mwanza, as we wind up.
Thank you, Chair. The first contract was 493,395. Having paid out 146.
Where are you? On page
page
it's
2.
on appendix.
Yeah, because this is the main query.
Oh, page 2.
So, terminated the contract at 146,559. You had the balance of 346,836. You engaged a new contractor, NY Engineering, at 352,643. So, from the first contract of 493, you made a saving of 346,836, which, when you engaged the second contractor, the contract sum was 352. It was 5,800 above the funds that you ring-fenced for this particular staff house. Where did you get the additional funding to fund this contract? Number 2, to fund this contract number 2. Okay, then contract number 2, at termination, the contractor was paid 234,720, leaving a balance of 117,923. This 117,923, we assume, is the money that was in the first account reserved for this particular project, which you engaged Dajet company as a labor contractor, and then the balance used to buy materials, because you have not even showed us what was the cost of material. So my question on this one, because you have 117,923, Dajet contract was 58,000. That is 50% of the money reserved to complete this house using first account. Procurement, a labor contract. What is the standard percentage of the materials cost in terms of the labor cost? These are standard documents as per procurement rules, ZPPA. What is the standard percentage that you give any labor contractor who you engage on any contract? Because it is a standard percentage of the cost of materials. And Chair, there was a very pertinent question which they did not answer. Why these contracts, 2 contracts, when you terminated them, you never invoked penalties on these contractors? You never claimed for damages. Procurement, these are the standard procedures. When you terminate a contract, the penalties for the client not to enjoy the facilities of this, which the house would provide to the members of the public. In fact, this is a primary school. This is a house to a school. I'm sure there's an accommodation crisis, just like everywhere else. So why didn't you invoke penalties to these two contractors? And that question of Invest Trust, you have not yet answered.
Thank you very much on those two questions. Director Engineering, did you invoke that? And then the Director, Procurement Officer should be able to give us roughly on the percentage on the labor-based. Yes.
Thank you, Chair. I think I'll begin by the question that was asked by the Honorable Member concerning the budget considerations, to say after engaging the second contractor, there was an overshoot of 5,000. I think I'd like to state to the Honorable Member that CDFC had approved a total amount of 509,479.5. So that was the total budget. 509,478.5.
And what did you put on your report?
The 493 was the contract amount that was agreed.
Okay.
So there was still some saving from the total allocated funds.
Okay.
That's why that one is captured under that one. So that one has been resolved.
Right.
To show that you had ring-fenced 509,478 because really for sure this contract, it is involving financials, because as a client we've got to look at how much money has the client lost due to procurement issues, due to contractual performance, and so on. So you could have given us the minutes that showed how much was ring-fenced to show that you did not have to source funds from elsewhere.
That is number one. Number two, in your statement here, we would have put that the total contract sum, the total cost for this house is 509, but the contract sum is 490.93. In that way, then we know before we ask that actually the 5,000 came from the difference from the actual contract and the budget. Okay?
Oh, thank you, Chair, for that guidance. And I think we have not come with that evidence, which can be provided, Chair. Then the second question, if I've not forgotten, Chair, is talking about
you didn't invoke the
penalties.
The penalties, yes.
Yes.
Or, we
so
give it
Chair,
to procurement. Give it to procurement. You can switch off your mic, Director Engineering. Yes.
No, thank you so much, Chair. Maybe the Director Engineering can come in, then I can maybe conclude on the percentage of labor-based, and also so I can just guide the committee about also the variations, because they range in the same.
Okay. Director Engineering.
Thank you, Chair. I think the observation by the Honorable Member is correct. However, after the first contract was terminated, which is Hench Enterprise, the contract provides that we engage with a contractor, have several meetings. Chair, we have minutes for those meetings that we had. Unfortunately, we have not come with them, but which we can provide. But in the contract, it was stated that liquidated damages apply after the agreed contract period has ended. So, for example, if today is 31st, then starting tomorrow, after the agreed contract end date, we start counting for liquidated damages. However, if you notice, Chair, these contracts were terminated within the contract period, so there was no way liquidated damages could have applied, because the contracts were terminated within. The liquidated damages would only apply for dates that are outside the contract period.
That's why we are saying, why did you terminate the contract within the contractual period?
So, Chair, if you read the contract, the termination letter, it's stating that at the date when the contract, I think it was just a week before the end date, the contractor requested for extension of time of 1 month to finish the works when he was at slab level. So even to a layman, it didn't make logical sense that this contractor can finish, the remaining 70%, when in three months he's only done 30%. So based on that, Chair, we couldn't justify why we should extend this contract, because the people of Ngawe needed the project immediately.
Procurement.
Thank you so much, Chair.
Assistant Internal Auditor, kindly come and sit here.
Thank you so much, Chair. There was a question from the honorable member asking about the percentage of labor-based. I think we have seen we have discussed and we have seen all the stages of this project. And from the memos which I've read, at the time of advertisement, when we are looking for the contractor for this project, the advert took place. I think everything was said and done. They did the advert and everything, but there was some situation whereby they used to find that when they do the advert, you find that you find that maybe there's no bidder was responded. So all those things, that's why you find that now that even this project took so long. Coming to the variation and variations and the percentage of labor-based, I think they fall in the same category. In the same category whereby you can't take, for instance, under variation, you can't maybe the tender sum of a project can't go beyond 25%. So a labor-based contract was used at the end now. Depends on the amount of the money which is there. You can't go labor-based maybe over 1 million. I think that one now requires an advert and everything. Thank you so much, Chair.
Chair.
Through your indulgence, the question is, when you are when you are executing a project using labor-based or so-called force account, there is a standard formula that you apply to give a labor contract. It is basically a percentage of the cost of materials goes as a labor price for the one who is executing the works, which in this case is 50%. So I'm asking, from your knowledge, you have executed a lot of these labor-based contracts before the enhanced CDF before. Have you ever given a labor contract of 50%?
Director Engineer.
I can help my colleague. Chair, if you notice, if you compare the scope of works for the second contract and the contract that was done labor-based, you find that there were some additional works that were made. In the first contracts, in the first two contracts, we didn't have a selling board, we didn't have towels.
You see, Director Engineering, we always discourage people to give us additional variations, whatever. That is not in the report. So you want to justify, switch off your mic, you want to justify the cost using those things that you are mentioning. You are an engineer, civil engineer. We have Dr. Mwanza as well, we are blessed. He's a full-time qualified civil engineer, a doctor in civil engineering. So sometimes we listen to you, the learned ones, you see? But you have always the temptation of trying to bring something that you did not put on your report. Our arguments always will be based on the report. We will not go out there, no matter how maybe acquitted we are with the project or with the matter. We will not go outside what you have submitted. That aside, we'll make a comment. The internal audit, assistant internal auditor, you have heard the arguments from the inception of this interaction. What's your comment based on your department? Contract cancellation, this, all the various. So what's your comment?
Thank you, Chair, for the question. My contribution, or what I would say, is that as internal audit, we do offer risk management, and we, as my supervisor said, we went on site and everything was followed. I'm sure I've heard also what Director Engineering has said. As internal audit, we also had some data that was supposed to bring to this house. I'm sure that wasn't just attached, and it would have clearly helped to show everything that transpired, because in the report we had initially recommended that the initial contract should be terminated upon what we saw on site.
But you came in the morning ready, isn't it ready to respond to our queries? So what is it that we're going to use to respond to all these queries if you left the information behind?
Thank you, Chair. Due to time, I'm sure I would have tried our level best to capture or get the information at the shortest period of time.
Which time are you talking about?
Chair, by trying to
Are you aware that during labor-based, the completion of that house, are you aware that the council purchased the materials?
Yes, sir, I am.
You are aware?
Yes.
And did you see those documents? Did you see any invoice? Did you see any receipt pertaining to that?
Due to the time frame.
No, I'm asking, did you see any document?
If my memory serves me well, yes, I did, Chair.
You did. Did you get any document to prove to us that you saw that? As an internal auditor, are you not supposed to have whatever the financial transactions, at least the documentary evidence that you are going to get all the time? Did you get those?
Unfortunately, I didn't, Chair.
Thank you very much.
We are constrained.
You can switch.
We are constrained but what comes out. She's first stated to say whatever my supervisor said is correct. I go by that. The supervisor never saw anything. The assistant.
She goes by that.
Yes, she sees.
Thank
Chair.
you. Yeah.
Let it be known that as officers will not be part and parcel of those who be delaying no projects. It can't be. A staff house. Yes. No. But it's a preserver for the chairperson. And just one, we've just started with, so to say, just open. What if we had gone all the way up to the end? Yes. know, even with EGP system,
Thank you, Honorable Mte.
things have to work. You need to be accommodated. School pupils need the classroom blocks. The money is there. The whole process has gobbled more than it should have. Taken, Chair.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Ngawe Town Council, we want to appreciate your appearance, but we don't appreciate your submission. We don't appreciate your submissions. We expected more. You see, we kept on reminding the local authorities when they appeared under the operations that you are coming under CDF, and we expect a very good report, because these apparently are the questions that we are asking. Even the completion certificate, we asked them in the other, during the other session. But to have very, very uncoordinated team like you are portraying to us, it's not health. You are the end users. You are the people that the government increased the CDF fund. You are the people that we are targeting. You are the people that we feel you are in the communities. You are the first government. Every person will see government through you. There is government here because we have seen roads. There is government here because the boreholes have come. There is government here because we have a clinic through you. Now, if, for instance, the one project that we looked at, if it can take 2 years for the teacher to get accommodation, to get a house, a teacher has been sent to go and teach there in Mberero, and the house takes 2 years. The teacher is getting soaked. The teacher has nowhere, has no decent accommodation. Yet the government released the money. We have Director of Works who has been given fuel, he has been given a vehicle, that any time we can be checking, just even on the quality of the blocks, before they start even building. The mixture itself. Unfortunately, across the country, what we have seen is directors in the engineering department, they like putting suits. The way he's putting a suit, he's going to the office. At least he can put on a suit when he's coming to a committee like this one. But they are supposed to be field workers. These. Every day the CS should be choked with the requests saying, I'm going this side today. Today I'm going this side. Those requests. Then they are working. But if you put on a jacket, you hang the jacket and you sit to just sign, what will be happening is the poor workmanship out there. What will happen, the director, the day you wake up to say, no, let me go into the field, he will cancel the contract. That's what they will do. Because they will realize they will not allow a contractor to continue. Working together to develop this country. The hope of this government is in local authorities. But local authorities, you are the best when it comes to explanations. You are the best in this country. You even surpass teachers that are teaching in giving examples. That should not be the case. That should not be the case. Every day we are querying internal auditors. They don't seem to be in touch. They are detached to day operations. When the council, when the monies, a lot of monies come and the council is busy, the internal audit department is standing aloof. This should not be the case. We were talking to your employers and we told them that don't look at the principal officers only, look at the directors. What are they doing in their departments? How is the performance in their departments? When you look at the summary of your report, governance and financial challenges. One, delayed infrastructure project, like you have said, persistent delaying in completing staff house facilities, chief's palace, due to contractor inefficiencies and the poor monitoring. The biggest thing is poor monitoring. Poor monitoring, mismanagement of empowerment grants, diversion of grants to unapproved projects by cooperatives, coupled with insufficient and cost assessments. So now, the monies go out there. The guidelines are saying councils will be monitoring. On the loan part of it, you must see to it that the payments are coming back. I don't know how many, if you had to ask for a list, Director Finance, I don't know how many people have made the payments towards their loans and how many people have benefited actually from the repayment in that revolving account. How many people have benefited after others have paid? All those crabs, the grants that are given to the people to actually better the lives of the people. If you gave 200, how many of those are doing fine? Do you have a list to say, no, we can proudly present this group. It bought 20 goats, now they're having 80 goats. These ones were buying 100 chicks, now they are buying 600. We can proudly tell you like that. And the lives of the people have been raised, the standards have been raised. We don't see all those things. Unspent funds, bursary utilization issues, lack of contractor vetting. This contractor from nowhere is given a contract. And you find in some cases, in some local authorities, even the contractor who is not performing, the council management, you still go back to him or to her. You will still contract the same person that is doing shoddy works. That is unfortunate. I want to urge you that government depends on you, and we want to see the best out of you. This country can only develop if we have those people that have the heart for development. We know we have the cancer of principal officers, council secretaries, town clerks. He packs a bag, there is a meeting in Livingston. When he reaches, on his way back, he reaches Zimba. They are saying, there is one in Nyimba. Can't even change the clothes, he will go to Nyimba. And including the directors, Director Finance, Director Engineering. We told the minister, we told the PS, we told the commission that give these people time to work in their localities. We want to appreciate your appearance, Council Secretary, and your team, but want to urge you to do more than what you have submitted today for the betterment of not of this committee, not the ministry, not the commission, but the communities where we are operating from. We want to see change. We appreciate what you are doing, getting road equipment and work on the roads and turning Ngawe into a better place than you found it. Thank you very much. At this point, allow me to withdraw the immunity that was conferred on you and wish you well as you go back to Ngawe. Thank you very much. You may take leave. Thank you.
Audio